We're going to take a look at some affordable NBA free agent targets for the Golden State Warriors going into NBA free agency. Bleacher Report suggesting 3 sleeper contracts for the Dubs. And the situation at hand here, the Warriors have $175.5 million on the books for this upcoming season in 2024-2025. The translation, just not a lot of money. If Golden State dips below the luxury tax, they can offer a $12.9 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception. If Golden State is above the first apron, which is $172 million, right now they currently are, they can offer a $5.2 million taxpayer MLE. A lot more to get to here on the show. We set the foundation for you. Now we're asking you to subscribe to the channel because you're a winner at the end of the day. We give you year-round coverage of the Dubs, and especially going in to a critical offseason like this one, we have you covered every step of the way. So hit that subscribe button right now. We are less than 500 people away from 66,000 subscribers. We're talking Dubs all the time right here on Warriors Today. A lot of decisions to make for Golden State as you pivot and shift gears toward the offseason. If Golden State re-signs Klay Thompson, they will likely be over the luxury tax, and the roster can only be tweaked with moves on the roster peripheries, on the roster edges, trades, vet minimum contracts, moves of that type of category and ilk. So now you think about all of that. Let's take a look at the 3 sleeper contracts, 3 players who the Warriors could sign here. And these 3 players, I think, can help the Dubs get back to playoff contention after what was a very disappointing year in 2023-2024. Kyle Anderson has been a winning player everywhere that he's gone, and that goes back to when he was playing at UCLA. Smart, heady, high basketball IQ. He's never going to put up crazy numbers, but there was a play in Game 4 against the Mavs where he directed traffic off the ball, and then that led to Karl Anthony Towns going into the corner and hitting a big 3. He's basically like having a coach on the floor, always a willing defender. And again, you look at these numbers here. For the Golden State Warriors, he's a player who's probably going to give you 6 to 10 points per game per night and 45 to 50% from the floor. He has one of the ugliest shots in the entire NBA, so that translates to him not taking a lot of three-pointers. So the stats won't jump off the page at you, but we saw in the postseason how he's able to facilitate from the high post and find some shooters, and you put him on the floor with a Steph Curry and or Klay Thompson. This is a player who's going to be able to bring the best out of the offensive existing pieces that you have on your roster because of the player that he is. The issue here with the Warriors is that he may cost a little bit more than what the Warriors can afford. For the strengths to his game that I talked about, the benefits that he gives you really on both ends of the floor, other playoff teams also look at him in that way. So they might have more money than Golden State, and they might be able to give him more cash than the Warriors. Should the Dubs sign and pursue Kyle Anderson? Are you interested in the player? Drop your thoughts. Why for yes and for no? Coming up next, 2 more free agent targets to get to here on Warriors Today. But first, make sure you sign up with Prize Picks, making daily fantasy sports so easy, where you pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less on the projected stats, and you can win up to 25 times your money. Use that link down below, prizepicks.com/CLNS. That will allow you to download the app for free, but also you get a $100 deposit match. Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight. Here are our selections. The special, Jason Tatum, more than a half point. I think he gets a bucket. Derek Lively, another semi-special with the Demon, more than a half assist. And then Daniel Gafford, more than 6 rebounds. Win big money. Withdraw your winnings. Pick more, pick less. Prize Picks, the largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America. Affordable free agent target number 2, Doug McDermott, who was out of the rotation for the Indiana Pacers. He will not improve your team at all on the defensive end of the floor. But hear me out. On this team, getting some open looks, playing, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes per night, he's going to be able to find twine and put the biscuit in the basket. That is for sure. He was definitely disappointing this year in 2023-2024. 5.5 points per game, 43% from the floor. He's always going to be able to knock down the three. And for him, in each of the last 3 years, to be north of 40%, that's impressive. This is a move that you make if you don't sign Klay Thompson. And that's why I said, hear me out. You, of course, lose the defensive Klay, but you get some of that three-point shooting back, and he is not going to cost you anything close to Klay Thompson. And for Doug McDermott, do you want an opportunity to see the floor? If you want that opportunity to see the floor on an organization with the team that loves shooting the rock from distance, this could be your role. So McDermott, a good floor spacer, and he could play well in a mobile offense. He shot more than 40% on his three-point shots in 6 of the last 7 seasons. So coming out of Creighton, you knew that he was a flamethrower. That is translated. He hasn't become the star, hasn't lived up to that first-round billing, but what has translated? Knocking it down from distance. Lastly, Monte Morris. This might be the favorite player on this list for some people watching the show here today. It doesn't look like CP3 comes back for Golden State. On that salary, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Plus the age, you might look to get a little bit younger, a little bit more athletic. And let's face it, last year, CP3, the fit, the decision, it was always a little weird for Mike Dunleavy Jr. Steve Kerr did say it's not the ideal roster for Paul. Then why the hell did you guys make the trade? Too late for that now, right? But looking ahead, we can fix that. And the Warriors will need ball handling to come in off the bench. And Monte Morris is that player who can handle the basketball. This past year, didn't really do much, right? Also didn't play. 32 games played. But before that, we did see what he's capable of doing, where he's averaging between 10 and 12 points per game, dishing out anywhere between 3 and 5 assists, and then 48% from the field, that'll play, and then 39% from 3. That's efficient right there. He is a career 39.1% three-point shooter. The point of today's show is talking about affordable free agents, players who you're going to bring in and not have to pay that much money for. So they're not going to be stars. They're not going to move the needle drastically, but can they play roles? That's what we're trying to accomplish here on the show as we put our GM hats on. For Monte Morris, has the shooting and the decision-making abilities to make Golden State feel comfortable during some of those non-Steph Curry minutes. So we round out with this. That's 3 players right there. Kyle Anderson, Doug McDermott, Monte Morris. Pick one of those players to sign. We're putting the pressure on you. KA for Anderson, DM for McDermott, MM for Monte Morris. As you scroll on down to get those votes in, subscribe to the channel. It's Golden State Warriors Today.